Boxing has always been a battleground, a ring where power fights discipline, but today it's something else entirely. The fight between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson isn't just about boxing, it's a joke. Fame over skill, clout over credibility, outrage over substance. Once upon a time, boxing was the purest test of human endurance and skill. It was a battle of wills. Mike Tyson in his heyday embodied that spirit, a powerhouse who could knock out opponents in seconds. Tyson wasn't just a boxer, he was a force of nature. Fast forward to 2024 and the sport has a new face, Jake Paul, but this isn't a story of talent rising to the top. No, this is a story of influence buying its way in. Paul, a social media superstar, has no traditional boxing roots. Instead, he's turned the sport into his personal playground where followers, fame, and controversy are the currency. How did we get here? It's simple. Society now values spectacle over substance. If you have enough followers, you can rewrite the rules of any game, even boxing, and that's exactly what Jake Paul has done. Jake Paul didn't climb the boxing ranks like everyone else. Most fighters spend years, even decades, honing their craft. They fight in dingy gyms, earning scraps until they finally get a shot at glory. But Paul, he skipped the line. Armed with clout, he bought his way into the big leagues. And let's not forget how carefully those fights were chosen. Take his fight with Ben Askren, for example. On paper, it sounded impressive, Paul facing a former Olympic athlete. But here's the catch. Askren wasn't a boxer. He was a wrestler with no striking ability, famously called one of the worst strikers in UFC history. When Paul won, it wasn't a triumph of skill, it was a calculated move to inflate his record. This pattern continued. Older, retired athletes desperate for a paycheck became Paul's go-to opponents. It wasn't just boxing, it was branding. Every win brought Paul more followers, more pay-per-view sales, and more power to keep the circus going. And the audience? They lapped it up, turning a blind eye to the glaring imbalance in these fights. And now, the circus has reached its peak. Jake Paul has set his sights on Mike Tyson, one of the most feared boxers in history. But there's a catch. Tyson isn't the man he used to be. At nearly 60 years old, he's decades removed from his prime. Health issues have plagued him. Ulcer flare-ups, nerve problems requiring a cane, and years of wear and tear from a life in and out of the ring. Still, Tyson is no ordinary 60-year-old. His sparring partners can attest to that. Leading up to the fight, Tyson hit so hard that one of his sparring sessions ended with the opponent in the hospital. But this fight isn't just about strength, it's about what Tyson represents. He's stepping back into the ring to face an influencer, a man whose rise is built on spectacle rather than skill. For Tyson, this fight is a payday, reportedly earning him $20 million. But for Jake Paul, it's something more. It's validation. A chance to silence critics and cement himself as more than just a YouTuber playing pretend in the boxing world. This fight isn't just about Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson, it's about what their matchup represents. A society where clout and influence trump hard work and dedication, where the loudest voices drown out the most skilled. The fight itself will be a spectacle, one of the biggest pay-per-view events in history, but will it be remembered as a great boxing match or as a symbol of how far the sport has fallen? This fight might be entertaining, but what does it really say about us? About what we value as a society? Is it okay to sacrifice integrity for attention, or are we losing sight of what really matters? Think about it. Who do you want to see holding the spotlight? Those who've earned it, or those who've bought it? Let us know what you think in the comments.